Utatusalimia, tuambie unaitwa nani na nini kwa siku ya leo.
Mimi naitwa Dr. Ezekiel Mutua.
Yes.
Ni CEO wa Music Corporate Society of Kenya. Na vile Executive Director wa Myogenic Excellent Music Awards MEMA.
Yes.
Na nimekuja hapa kwa maana Apostle C.W. John ni rafiki yangu wa zamani sana. Na kuna hii uzinduzi ambayo inafanyika ya album ya The Rapping Nation, na yeye nimemjua kama mhubiri na vile muimbaji, msanii mkubwa, na mimi nasimamia mambo ya usanii kwa miaka mingi. Nimemlea kwa njia nyingi, amekuwa rafiki yangu, nimekuwa kanisa, nimezindua miradi kama hii kwenye kanisa, na pia katika harakati zake anazofanya hata za kuingilia uongozi wa nchi, nimekuwa nikimsaidia, nikimsupport, nikimuombea na kumpatia mentorship na mawaidha. Kwa hivyo leo tunakuja tu kumshambikia kama rafiki, kwa maana tunapoona vijana tuseme watu kama yeye anapochukua jukumu kuhakikisha kwamba anajumuika na vijana wengine, ama anafikisha ujumbe wa vijana wengine kuchukua jukumu katika mambo ya uongozi, kuchangia kuhakikisha kwamba nchi yetu inapata uongozi unaofaa, kwamba vijana hawalalamiki tu. Because I always say that the challenges facing our nation cannot be solved by our young people playing victim. They can only solve these challenges by taking action. And if you are not happy about the condition of your society and the country, you don't just complain and play victim. You take action. John, C.W. John has done exactly that. He takes action. He speaks out, whether as a preacher, whether through his rap music. He takes action. And I'm very proud of him as a young man whom I have mentored, to see the progress he has made locally and globally. CJW is a big name. Kubwa sana duniani. Amekuwa mfano mwema kwa vijana, kwamba you can come from anywhere and rise to the top. And that's why I believe he subscribes to the philosophy that I believe in, that young people cannot resolve the challenges of our time by playing victim. They can only do it by taking action, making a contribution, speaking out, but more than speaking out, ensuring that they are united, they are structured, they are doing it in a way that contributes to the welfare of the nation, and they use their talents and their gifts the way Apostle C.W. is doing, using rap, which is very unique genre of music really. Because you would expect ingekuwa ni ile gospel ya kawaida, but he has chosen to use the language that resonates with the youth of this country, to speak to the issues that affect the nation, to speak to the issues that affect majority of our youth, who are the backbone of the economy, the cog in the wheel that drives the economy of this country. Na yeye mwenyewe akasema ataweka, he will stake out his neck to ensure that he can teach our young people that courage pays. You don't play victim, you take action. I'm very proud of him. So we are here tonight to celebrate him, even as we prepare to launch the Rapping Nation album on Saturday in the church. I've been there before, I've brought artists, we have had prayers. We've been working together by and large. And therefore, for me to be here tonight is a great honor, and I thank him for inviting me.
Yes. What is your message kwa wale wanaanzia usanii ama wale wako bado kwa industry, utawaambiaje?
That Apostle is a good example. That no matter who you are or where you come from, your dreams are valid. That you don't need to give up. You don't have to be a big name to make an impact in this country. You don't have to be based in the city, or to come from Karen, or to come from, the living suburbs of Nairobi. That you can come from anywhere. Apostle has been operating from Keno for many years. Built a center there, grown his ministry, and now see what he has done, the influence he has globally. I think it's a good example to our young people that when you are determined to bring change, it doesn't matter where you come from, that God will be with you, God will help you, the way he helped David. See, when David got into the scene when Goliath was intimidating and harassing the children of Israel, he was not seen as the best. No. And but he had a testimony of things he did in obscurity in the wilderness. And he says there's a time the bear attacked his father's cattle, and he killed the bear. Another time the lion came and attacked the cattle of his father, and he killed the lion. He's saying, now this Philistine before me, I will also conquer him. Things that we do in obscurity, things that we do that are not even published on Facebook, things that we do in secrecy, in darkness, that nobody may even publish them in newspapers or on TV. We may not qualify to get the coverage the way you are giving us tonight. But out of that obscurity and the courage that is done in the wilderness and the preparation that God puts in his people in the wilderness, because a lot of preparation that you see, even for our athletes, it's not when they're on the race, on your marks, get set, go, and they win the gold. It is the preparation, the training they have done over the years. And that's what C.W. John has done over the years, that he has been in the obscurity, in the wilderness, training, preparing, sweating it out when nobody's watching, paid the price, and therefore you can speak at the table of men. Our young people can learn from people like Apostle John that you need courage, and that you need to keep doing what you're doing, what you're called to do, to change the conditions of your society, even when nobody's watching. Because a time will come, like the time that came for David to step into the scene, even though by default, taking food to his brothers, but he becomes the solution and kills Goliath. It is possible. I also came from the obscurity. I was leading from my primary school. I was the head boy, CU chairman, school captain, all through my education. There was no Facebook then. There was no Instagram. There was no TikTok. Nobody knew my story. But when I joined Nation and I became a journalist in 1994, I started getting noticed. And by the time I was getting to 2001, I was elected Secretary General of the Kenya Union of Journalists. You can come from anywhere. Our young people must know those things you do in church, because I think some of us learned courage to speak from Sunday school, just reciting verses. The Lord is my shepherd. Sure. And it shaped us. That became our story. But out of obscurity in the wilderness, the training God gives you in the wilderness when nobody's watching, but you keep doing what is right, you keep conquering, overcoming challenges, building your resilience, building your mental fortitude to face challenges and not to give up. That is what contributes to great leadership. And that's what I see in C.W. John, and we are very proud of him tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
So maybe just to continue, my name is Colin Scanera, and I'm coming from Spirit TV. You have really elaborated very well. But so there are challenges when it comes to the issue of young men and young artists upcoming, especially in Kenya. They are saying that they have not been given what we call an airtime to be listened to. You go to our radios, you go to a TV station, they prefer music from outside. We speak of Nigeria, we speak of South Africa. Kenyan musicians are really suffering. So where you are standing, what is it that you can tell them right now? They are watching you, they want that hope. What is that one thing that you can assure them?
I've been in public leadership for many years. Okay. And I've been a champion of the 75% local content quota by our radio and TV stations. Okay. But I also championed digital migration that moved us from the media domination by a few stations to the kind of stations you are seeing here tonight. I paid the price for that, if you remember. Okay. I fought that battle to the Supreme Court. And when we won, the major TV stations then switched themselves off. There was no TV in Kenya for 3 weeks. Okay. And they maligned us. Some of the stories you read about me, they are because we stood and said it is important to push for digital migration, to create multiplicity of channels that can broadcast in vernacular, can broadcast from the church, can broadcast from different sectors, health, sports, agriculture, and so on, including creative economy itself. I have been there as Secretary General of KUJ, as Director of Information, as Secretary of Information, as a CEO of the Kenya Film Classification Board, where the media nicknamed me the moral cop. I have paved the way for you guys to exist. Okay. I don't know whether you know that story. Personally, I paid the price for us to be where we are, to have these TVs that you are seeing. Okay. The media resisted. We were demonized, ostracized, called names. But we stood firm, went from the High Court to the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. And when we won in an act of utter blackmail, the media, there was no TV in Kenya for 3 weeks.
Okay.
That's how serious it was. What was the motivation? The motivation was to see local channels broadcasting in vernacular, church channels, churches streaming live services, events like this being streamed live. And I was also saying this will open up the space for the digital media platforms where you can now push your content and your content can be consumed globally through YouTube, through TikTok, through Facebook, through Instagram. So we are not lacking the spaces.
Okay.
Yes, we should enforce through Communications Authority the 75% local content quota. It's very important. In other countries, they don't allow. In Nigeria, you can't do what we do here. Here, even in church, so this is not something to blame the government or even the broadcasting station. Even in church, you sing a MEMA, nothing wrong with it. It's a good worship song. But you will ignore the local musician and you'll play a Nigerian song and sing it even when you don't know what Imela means. Okay? So the blame is not on the government or on anybody. It is on us reflecting on the best way to provide leadership to ensure that our local people get opportunities. And that's where MEMA comes in. 2 weeks ago, we launched a program called MEMA, Myogenic Excellent Music Award. It's not an award per se. It is a tool for empowerment where you can even nominate yourself. When you nominate yourself, you focus on your fan base. Kuna watu wanapenda sanaa na muziki yako. And this is for everybody, from church to the clubs, the entire ecosystem of music. Anywhere music is played. So that we increase the capacity and the opportunities for our artists to be supported by their fan base. Because artists do not create for themselves. Hakuna mtu anatunga muziki aiwe anawimba yeye mwenyewe. You sing for the others. You gather news the way you are gathering to relay to the audience. Now we are turning the spotlight on the audience and saying you can appreciate our artists and our creatives by voting for them through MEMA. And a vote is 100 shillings. 25% is yours from day one. So MEMA, actually, there are no judges or, to determine vocals and so on. It will be the votes that you have gotten from your fan base. So we are giving you the challenge to engage your fan base. Because when you go to clubs, and I'm not saying I go, I'm born again, so don't use that one again. Although we are taking the gospel there. I said when we were launching, this one is entire ecosystem where music is played. And we identified 4 areas: church, entertainment joints, that's our clubs and bars and so on, transport sector, and broadcasting sector. So we'll be engaging with all those. So if you find me in a club, I will be only speaking the gospel of MEMA. But you see, when a band performs, when they go to sit, shabiki wanasema waangushie mizinga, wapewe pombe. Now, while that is an act of kindness and a good gesture, it cannot sustain them. Hiyo mizinga haitalipa rent kesho.
That's true.
Yeah, haitalipa rent. And so MEMA looked at it with my brother here, Solomon Oboto. Solomon here was a U.S. Army officer, earning good money in the U.S. But he came back to Kenya to give back to the community. And when he came, because he had watched me through the same digital platform, we met on TikTok. Okay? I was running a program, a live session on TikTok. He came from the United States wearing the U.S. Army uniform. And he introduced himself. And eventually when he came to Kenya, he said, I want to support what you are doing. We have to support our creatives. And we kept thinking, we have attended so many awards. I think hakuna award Kenya tunjewe attend na huyo ndugu yangu. Tunaenda from Kibali to Kuza to, Timiza, all those in the Nairobi cinema to everywhere, Mombasa, KICC, everywhere. And, you go there, give 50,000, give 100,000, but that has not solved the problem. In fact, what pains me most is when an artist wins an award, but they can't even get fare to go back home.
Yeah. Very true, sir.
And that pains me. So we introduced MEMA and said, MEMA will be about money. Nimeona watu wanasema hii ni biashara. Ndio ni biashara kabisa. Duty is charged. Hii sio award. Hii ni kura. Engage your fan base. Leo nimepigia hata Papa Tomaso nimemuongezea. It's about money. And you can see it on your phone. Who is voting for you. So when you come for an event like this, ukipata microphone, ambia na niko nominated MEMA, nipigieni kura. What will happen is, the cumulative impact of your engagement with the fan base in the next 6 months, will establish a company where you are a shareholder.
Wow, okay.
As an artist. This company, how we are doing it, we are targeting one, uplifting the welfare of our artists by ensuring that when we come to October, we are announcing the top winner. It is the votes we are counting, and they'll get 5 million plus a car.
All right.
Number 2 gets 3 million. Number 3 gets 2 million. But in July, when we make the midterm payments, we have also arranged with our counterparts in the diaspora. And najua diaspora wamechangia sana. Kujenga manyumba, real estate, and so on. They have really been contributing to the GDP of the country. In fact, the diaspora remittances are the highest contributor to the GDP of our country.
All right.
We have said the diaspora doesn't have now to contribute to brick and mortar. Support artists through MEMA. So that UK, they have opened up in August from 13. We are taking the top 10 contestants in MEMA. We'll have reached a threshold of 200,000 votes to the UK, and they will be performing and getting paid. We bring them fully paid. A fully paid trip. In November, we'll take them to the United States. They are getting 2 things: exposure, but opportunities also to perform and do collaboration with other artists. In other words, I think what we have been lacking is a strategic leadership decision. It's not for lack of opportunities. The church needs to think, because, and I'm not blaming the church, I'm just saying the situation cannot go on like this, where choirs perform and they're not paid. Worship teams, they prepare, they take a lot of time, they're not paid. MEMA has come to respond to that gap. And so we are working with the churches to say, look, you may not be able to put the choir on the payroll, but this is talent. Art is talent. Singing is talent. You can't just allow this to be used for free, because when you bring somebody to fix the lights or the technology in the church, you'll pay them. Electricity will be paid. Those guys who are doing technical work, plumbing and so on, won't be paid. But the artist comes to practice and go home. They come, sing, and they go home, and they're not on the payroll. We are saying now we can give you a solution. Just vote for them. Appreciate them through your vote. By so doing, MEMA will build a structure that gives them a medical cover called MEMA Afia, that gives them something we call Bundle of Joy, because our choirs, they give birth, they are parents, they are human beings. So there's MEMA Bundle of Joy, there's MEMA School Fees program that will ensure that you get an advance. And look at it this way, my brother. If you get 10,000 votes, and there are some people adding there, we launched on 2 weeks ago. It means you can access 250,000 for free, interest free. You're not refunding. This is money. If you reach 10,000 votes, you can access 250. At a time, my brother, when the media recorded 2 weeks ago that Kenyans lizard over 1 trillion. It means Kenyans are looking for 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings. Just more bob to fill the gap, to bridge the gap and survive. Now MEMA has introduced a package where through your fan base, you can access 50,000, 20,000, 100,000, 250. And we are targeting each of our nominees getting to 5 million.
All right. Before I let you start go, you have really explained it well. But in Kenya, we know very well that an issue of piracy. A lot of artists are removing. I mean, they have their songs outside there, but there's an issue of piracy. This is one of the things that is killing the industry of Kenya, especially when it comes to musicians. You speak of MEMA. That is a very good idea. But what is the security of that artist? How do they join? How are they sure that this is what I'm going to get at the end of the day? Because you said very well that you have to have something to go home with. But they don't get it, because once they perform, the pastor, or rather the one who has brought the entertainment that particular time, get his package and goes away. What are the measures that are putting that person who is outside there, the artist who is outside there, is very much in confidence with you, saying that now I have someone who can speak to us and especially speak about the issue of piracy, sir? At least
MEMA is transparent. It's on your phone. Once you get the link, I vote for you right now, you can see.
All right.
So it is as transparent as that. We are using technology instead of using, because piracy has been accentuated by technology. That somebody can go and just download your music on YouTube and so on. We are now turning that page and using the same technology to create a financial structure that safeguards the welfare of our artists. In this era of technology and globalization, there is very little anybody can do to regulate, because to regulate piracy and curb it, you will have to regulate internet so that people have no access, and it is difficult. while there are policies that ensure that YouTube can flag if you infringe on copyright, whether even there are detectors of AI to know whether you have copied somebody else's work. I think eventually it will have to be a moral issue.
Right.
I think we need to be sensitized to just respect our artists' work. Don't use it for free. People go to a hotel, they pay for the mandazi and the tea, but the music, they don't think that is a product.
Exactly.
So we need to bring in a lot of sensitization.
Yeah.
But like I said, empowerment means you have got to think outside the box and introduce new packages like the way we have done with MEMA. MEMA, you are seeing it on your phone.
Right.
I vote for you, you can see it.
Okay.
You come to me and tell me to assist you. You want to win this award, you're in this category, and I support you.
Okay.
And then ultimately, it's not about performance. In MEMA, you don't even need to interact like this.
Right.
You just get the link and you are voted for.
Okay.
So this is a foolproof arrangement that empowers you without anybody else becoming intermediary. And in the process, then you get an opportunity to control through your fan base money that takes you to the next level and cushions you.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Allow me to go to my brother here. You come from US and you brought some goodies for Kenyan musicians. What is that one thing that you can say and you can tell them? Tonight they are watching you. A lot of them, young men are coming out of schools and they have talents. And they're feeling like Kenya is not that place that you can expose, You can just go out and be called out and, of course, being appreciated. You have been to US. What is the experience there and what can you bring into this young generation?
Thank you so much, and I want to appreciate you guys for even coming out. And that's what Dr. was talking about. You guys are part of the solution. You are not being part of the problem. You have realized that you must go work to put food on the table. And these are the folks that I like to support. You guys move my heart because you are not just sitting. You are here overworking. Okay? Amuko ile time unasema eti nani ako na form? Uko na form. Kila mtu ako na uwezo wa kukuwa na form. Una get? So when I got to the other side of the sea straight out of high school, I used to listen kina Juakali, kina Jemwat. They used to say wako California. So me, I thought they were in California. When I got to California, I was looking wapi kina Juakali. Then I realized that they are back home here. Islando, a place called Kali Flekon. So, and then I started now monitoring closely, because I grew up in Kisii, and those were the people we were seeing on TV, on radio, celebrities for real time. So when I got to US, didn't find them there, started watching their music on YouTube. Some of them are not producing music anymore, like Jim Watt. I started wondering, wow, what is happening? All right. So I started doing research and all that. And then, so when I came to Kenya, you could meet an artist that I thought when I grew up was a celebrity. And then they can't even buy UT.
Right.
They say, bana niokoe, nini, sijalipa rent, niko na madeni, nini. Then I started wondering what's going on. But when you have somebody like Akon, who most of artists measure up even more than him, he's back home in Sierra Leone rebuilding his country, using money that he earned from his talent.
That's right.
You talk about Conchestina and John Cena. They both have the same talent. But the other guy has a structure. But this guy back home here does not have a structure. All right? So that's the structure we are bringing on board.
Wow, thank you.
So that it's more than an award. There is so much scholarship for talent in the United States. But for you to even get to that embassy, you need to apply for a school, which 90% of our folks here in Kenya, they don't have the money to apply for that school. Number two, you go to the embassy, they want you to show us a bank statement. You don't have a bank statement. Now MEMA can give you a bank statement. All right? Then you go to the other side of the sea, you know nobody. But now since MEMA, I have the connection on the other side. I have all the connection that you need. So MEMA is a program that is set on foot to set you up for success. It's upon you to understand it and use the tool to help you to move from point A to point B. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Maybe there's another question, but I really thank you so much, and thank you for bringing MEMA to this
and I was saying what we are doing is what happened to America. and also to the Nollywood.
Okay.
Hollywood in America was not built by the government.
Okay.
It was built by the private sector. People just sat like this and came up with a program. And that program has helped to define America as a superpower, to shape the perception about America.
Okay.
But more than shaping the perception, I don't think America would be what it is without Hollywood.
Wow.
Closer to home in Nigeria, Nollywood, we consume their films here. Afro Cinema returns shortly. Yeah, Niger movies and so on. Like I said, their music, even in church, we sing a lot of. They have helped to push even their cultural diplomacy through music, through their content. We have come up in a private way to push a program called MEMA that is going to redefine the future of Kenyan artists by empowering them, because where the rubber meets the road is the issue of money. We can sing well, but when the chips are down, the money that you need to pay your rent, to pay school fees for your children, to pay for your Medicare, is what should concern everybody now going forward. I want to appeal to everybody in church, in politics, people like leaders like CW John and others to support this. And we want all the artists to join MEMA. This MEMA is a self-ownership. Ni kitu ambao ukiingia ni yako. Once you get that link, and it has no end. No, there is not a date we will say now we have given the award, now it stops there. That link is for you and your fan base forever. So we are providing a tool for empowerment, sustainable structure for financial empowerment forever. And we appeal to everybody who is hearing this story and who is hearing about MEMA. Go to www.memaawards.com and read more. Nominate yourself. You can come from any category. DJ, MCs, media people like yourselves, content creators, TikTokers, everybody, dancers, everybody. Na tumesema hata wale wako kwa club, yeah. As long as you have fan base that loves your content. Now, like you said, that your content could be affected by piracy, but there are people who know that his song ni ya msanii fulani na wanampenda yeye mwenyewe. Sasa wao ukiwaambia wakupigie kura watakupigia. Na hii ni kura ambayo ukipigiwa sio kama ile unangojea uwin ndio upate kitu. Hii ukianza tu umepigiwa kuna 25%. Na hizo benefits zingine ambazo tumesema. Kwa hivyo tunaomba wasanii wote, creatives wote wajiunge na MEMA. MEMA ndio inatenda MEMA na ndio future ya music industry and the creatives.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, jump.